Hi everybody, it's Miss Lynn from Mill Creek MetroParks. Today we're going to take you on a walk on the wild side. We're at the Mill Creek Wildlife Sanctuary, and this is a real special treat for all of us because a lot of this property, this acreage here, is not open to the general public on a regular basis. It's something you have to have a special permit to come in on, or you can be part of an educational program. Now, right behind us, this observation deck is always open to the public. So you just come down Calla Rd, there's a little parking lot, and you can come on the observation deck and check out the Mill Creek Wildlife Sanctuary. Now, joining us today is Nick DeRico. Hi, Nick. And Nick is the natural resources steward for the park. So Nick, two questions for you. How long have you been with the park?
3 years.
3 years. And probably I'm more curious about what exactly is a natural resources steward?
Yeah. So as natural resources steward, just as the name suggests, you're a steward of the land. You can help conserve and protect our properties. I'm responsible for natural resource management, wildlife management, and environmental management.
Well, and it's important to note that properties like this, the natural areas, the preserves, and such, they do require a management plan.
For sure.
And then that's something that's a big part of what you do.
Yeah. So part of what I do is I come up with natural resource management plans for our properties. The sanctuary was actually the first plan that we developed in 2019. The plan is just a guiding document to help guide natural resource management for the property into the future. So it looks at things.
And that's important.
Yeah,
and that's important. Yeah. Now, I don't know that a lot of people know exactly where the wildlife sanctuary is located, so maybe you would be so kind as to tell them where, and then maybe give us a little overview of the property, maybe a little bit of the history, the story of the property.
For sure. So the sanctuary is located on Calla Rd in Beaver Township. It is one of our southernmost properties along the Mill Creek corridor. In total, we have 264 acres here. Acquisition began in 1999 with a 9-acre parcel being acquired through an ODNR NatureWorks grant. The process continued in 2004, 2005, where we acquired the rest of the 264 acres through a Clean Ohio grant.
With some help from some local foundations, I believe is what I heard.
Sure.
And so, Dr. Jim, while we talk, do you want to start to pan a little bit and then show people part of the sanctuary? So, Nick, tell us a little bit about the story of this property, because I understand that it was originally used for farming or raising cattle.
Yeah, originally the property belonged to the Calvin family. It was used for mixed agricultural uses, cattle farming, and then around the 1950s, they took advantage of the flooding issues they experienced here.
Those water issues.
Yeah, for sure. And they built all these ponds and canal structures you see in front of you now. They formed what was called the Paradise Fish Farm. So the property operated as a fish farm for several decades up until the point of acquisition by the MetroParks.
Okay, and when we bought the property from them, there were a couple stipulations in that contract, I believe. So one of them was that this was to remain open space.
Correct.
Right,
Yes.
and then a wildlife habitat.
Correct.
And then was it watershed conservation was another part of it?
Yeah, watershed conservation and wetland conservation are all important factors. Yes, this property will be preserved perpetuity as through the Clean Ohio grant that is required.
Okay. And then also part of the agreement, something called a life estate for the members of the Calvin family, that they were allowed to live on the property for however long they wanted to. We would provide that.
Correct. Yeah, the Calvins were given a life estate on the south side of Calla Rd here to remain in their home throughout their life.
Okay, and they live there.
They
still live there. Okay. Now, what is before we get into the wildlife here, what is the significance of this property? I think we mentioned a couple of them already, which was the wildlife habitat,
Yeah.
and the watershed conservation, the wetland conservation. And tell me though about why this is an important resting and refueling place for all the many birds that are migrating.
For sure. Yeah, the sanctuary is a very diverse property. It provides a great mixture of pond and wetland habitats, some upland areas. Really just come together to provide a really diverse
Like an
habitat,
ecosystem or something,
yeah, for a large number of birds and mammals. The unique part about this property is the ability to raise and lower water levels according to your management goals. In our case, we manage this property for shorebirds and waterfowl, so we will manipulate the water levels in the spring and fall to time up with those migration routes to provide those stopover and resting places.
Now you mentioned shorebirds, and when we talked earlier, I didn't know the definition of a shorebird, and you shared that with me. Could you share that with our viewers?
Yeah, so shorebirds are just a grouping of birds. You know, there's a long list of species that are included, but they're drawn to mudflat habitats. Essentially, we'll draw these ponds down to only have an inch or two of water in them, and the shorebirds that come, they like to feed in those mudflats, and they wade through the water and pick out macroinvertebrates to feed on.
So that's important for them.
Yeah,
That provides a habitat for them.
And it's really unique to our area. You know, the sanctuary is one of the only properties that I know of for sure in this area that has that capability to provide that unique habitat.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned 260 some different species of birds.
Yeah, 259.
259,
Yeah.
okay, and that's a really good number, right?
It is, for
so we
sure.
should be proud of that,
Very
for
proud.
sure. Now, one of the things that we can't forget to mention are the bald eagles. And we are fortunate enough to have a pair of nesting bald eagles right here in the wildlife sanctuary.
Right.
And Dr. Jim, hopefully you can pan out there a little bit and get a glimpse of the nest. And I know that Park Commissioner Jeff Harvey, he's out here a lot because he's a bird guy,
Yep.
but he has posted pictures on Facebook of 2 eaglets in the nest. What's significant about that?
It's really significant because the pair has not been successful over the last 2 years. So seeing them, being successful again is really great, and it's always great to see the pair. You can come down here almost any day and see them hanging around the nest, pretty much year round, and it's really just a pleasure to see them here.
Yeah, and is it true that the nesting pair they always come back to the same nest each year?
Yeah. Correct.
Okay, all right. I thought that was true and such. Now, I know that there's other wildlife here at the wildlife sanctuary. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the other wildlife that we have here?
For sure. Yeah, we already discussed the long list of bird species that can be found here. But in addition to those, we have white-tailed deer and wild turkey and coyotes and raccoons and red fox. We even got a bobcat last year on trail camera.
Oh,
which was
trail
really cool to
cams.
see.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. It wasn't the greatest picture, but you could definitely tell it was
You
a
could tell what it
bobcat.
was.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was really exciting. So, like I said, it really just creates a really diverse ecosystem here that allows a lot of different species to thrive.
Now, I thought I saw, do we have mink here?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mink, river otter,
River
beaver.
otter.
Yeah.
And you told me that you have yet to see the river otters.
I have not. They have evaded me for my time here, but they're seen pretty frequently by others.
Okay, and I know a couple people said they saw like the slide where they slide into the water and everything, but
Yeah.
no, not the actual river otter.
For
and
sure.
such.
Yeah, they're pretty elusive for sure.
Well, and I think it's very important that we and that the park preserve and conserve these awesome green spaces that we have for future generations. And I think that is where the stewardship comes in. So that's
Exactly.
where your job is so very, very important in managing properties such as this that are part of Mill Creek MetroParks. So I get a sense that this is where you belong. That this is your happy place.
It is, yeah. I really enjoy what I do, and I enjoy being able to come out here and manage and protect these properties.
And that's all any of us could ask for, is that we all find our happy place. And for the people of Mahoning County and the surrounding areas, Mill Creek MetroParks is definitely a happy place.
Sure.
So Nick, thanks for visiting with us today and sharing this wonderful wildlife sanctuary with us and with our viewers. So we hope that you have enjoyed this walk on the wild side, and that sometime you may be able to stop out and visit, whether it's to do some bird watching or whether you're part of an educational program that comes out and hikes the area and such. So remember, Mill Creek MetroParks can be all of our happy places. We just have to preserve and conserve as stewards of the land. So thanks for spending time with us. We hope to see you in the park sometime soon. Bye-bye.